Hi, happy Friday. Today we're going to do one last thing with fantasy. This will be a review. I think we've talked about this before, but I just wanted to go over the differences between fantasy characters and realistic fiction characters. So you also have access to this doc. It'll be filled in when you receive it, but I kind of wanted to treat this as like a anchor chart that we would fill out together in our classroom usually. So for our fantasy characters, I have Sophie the Spider from Sophie's Masterpiece and the monsters in the Big Bad Bubble Book. I went ahead and already put in some of the realistic characters that we usually think about. So I have Greg Heffley from Diary of a Wimpy Kid. He looks and acts like a human boy. He lives in a house, goes to school, human family and friends, has human problems, meaning that he fights with his family, he has to move, he goes to school, things like that. But his name is completely made up. All right. Judy B. Jones, same kind of thing. Young girl, looks and acts like a girl, lives in a house, has family, human friends, acts human, has human problems, but her name is completely made up. All right. It's not based on a person, a real person. Now, when we go over to Sophie the Spider and we talk about fantasy characters, some of the things that make them fantasy rather than realistic is that they appear to be made up. They might look like a real thing, but they don't act like they should. So, for example, for Sophie, she looks like a spider, but acts human. What I mean by that is that she has human skills. She's able to create things. She makes blankets and things. And she has human emotions. She could feel that the last woman that she helped had a problem. She wanted to help solve it. She also acts human by wearing clothes and shoes, which we know that real spiders don't do. So the spider becomes friends with human. But fantasy characters can also interact with realistic characters. So, like, there was the first woman, the cook, the older woman, and one or two others. All right. So the fantasy characters can interact with characters who appear realistic. Okay. All right. The monsters in La La Land are also fantasy characters. They are made up. All right. So we're going to start by saying that the monsters in La La Land are not real, cannot visit La La Land where they live. So unlike Greg and Junie B. Jones, we can kind of picture like a real kind of neighborhood life. But for the characters in Monsters in La La Land, we cannot even try to think of that type of place. Okay? They do have emotions. They're scared of bubbles. Bubbles. Oh, look, consonant LE word. Look at that. Some of them wear clothes like humans and have claws instead of hands. All right. So monsters are not real. We cannot visit La La Land. They do have emotions, kind of like um, our realistic characters, but they have creative problems. All right. Most people aren't scared of bubbles, hopefully. They do learn that they can just pop them with their finger, if that is the case. So take a look at these. Be thinking about some of the characters that you might be reading about. Um, think about, are you reading fantasy fiction, realistic fiction? Are you reading nonfiction? Your people are actually real, your facts are real, things like that. So this will be the last part of our fantasy, and then next week we will move into something new. Thank you.